What if everything you thought you knew about yourself, your ambitions, your attachments, your sense of I, was just an illusion? Not in a spooky sci-fi way, but in a practical, undeniable truth kind of way. Hold on to that thought because it's about to get wild. Recall that this all started with something deceptively simple, our search for an understanding of the true nature of activity. We started with Joshu Sasaki's teaching of zero. As the Buddha taught, zero inevitably splits into naturally opposing activities, plus and minus, which inevitably disappear back into zero. Translation? From zero activity, a manifested activity inevitably arises, and just as inevitably, disappears. And last time, we explored the notion of zero activity, which we defined as the alignment of essential conditions that, when sparked, gives rise to manifested activity. Take fire. No kindling, no dry logs, no fire. With dry logs and kindling, add the spark and voila, fire, a manifested fire. But what's the deal with this notion of a manifested activity? Here's where it gets juicy. All activity boils down to two fundamental activities, plus and minus. One builds, the other breaks down. One expands, the other contracts. Together, they're the engine behind all manifested activity, constantly creating, clashing, and inevitably canceling each other out. Let's revisit our fire. The flames leap and dance, plus. But as the logs crumble to ash, minus sneaks in, shutting it all down. And just like that, the fire's gone. Plus and minus expand and contract, coming together only to inevitably cancel each other and disappear. Depressing? Not at all. It's the essence of activity, the way of the universe. Now here's where it gets personal. If the universe is pure activity, then guess what? So are you. What you think of as yourself is just a dance, a zero self sparking into a manifested self and then disappearing back to zero. It happens constantly whether you realize it or not. The plus? That's when you're holding on tight, thinking, this is mine, I am this is myself. The minus? The quiet whisper reminding you, this is not mine, I am not this is not myself. And when those two activities cancel out, boom, you're back to zero self. Clarity. Freedom. And the Buddha? The Buddha called it over 2,500 years ago in his second discourse. He didn't say no self. He said not self. Big difference. It's as if he were pointing us to the notion of zero self all this time. Form, feelings, consciousness, perceptions. They're the characteristics of zero self, ready to spark into manifested self as circumstances demand. So that's it. Fire and self. Two examples of the true nature of activity. A manifested activity inevitably arising from zero activity and inevitably returning. With a manifested activity consisting of naturally opposing activities, plus and minus, that inevitably arise and just as inevitably disappear. And in coming sessions, we will be calling on this understanding of the true nature of activity to better understand Zen. So that's it for activity for now. Next up, zero in daily life.